Welcome back to Makeup and Melanda. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe and welcome to the makeup gang. Okay, so in this video, you see that I'm doing my friend's makeup. I'm starting off by just doing her eyebrows first. I'm filling them in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz pencil. And you can also see I'm going between the Brow Wiz pencil and this Fenty wax pencil. This is to help lay her hairs down so I can better shape her brows. If you have a client and their brow hairs are a little more free-spirited, this is a great product you can use. Next, I'm going in with the Hydro Grip Primer, and then I'm just doing her eyebrows little by little. So I'll do one side and then I'll switch to the other side. So I'm kind of just going back and forth. I like to put the primer on while I'm doing the brows just to give it really time to sit and set into the skin. You can see I'm having a little trouble with one of the brows, and I kind of have to go in and correct it. The brows are the most important part of the face for me personally, so sometimes I can take a very long time just to do brows. I don't think I showed the product here, but I did apply some P. Louise eyeshadow base to the lids just to help the eyeshadow stick more. So you'll see later when I go in and cut the crease with P. Louise, but I'm priming her base with P. Louise. I believe that the Nubian Juvia'S Place palette has the best shades for like transition colors, so I really like to use these, especially on women of color and myself as a woman of color. So I'm going in and carving out her crease and really just taking this little by little. I'm doing one eye, then doing the next, doing one eye, then doing the next. I learned that this is helpful for me when applying makeup on somebody else other than myself, so I'm not applying a bunch at one time, going in between the two eyes, like not doing one eye first and then the next eye, because for me personally, that's just a lot to try to make a match. So I do a little on one eye, then I do a little on the next eye, then go back to the original eye. Just going back and forth between the two helps me keep them as even and symmetric as possible. I also just love to take a clean brush and brush out the edges of the eyeshadow. It really gives it a seamless blend into the brow area. So that's my favorite part of doing eyeshadow. Next, I'm going in with the Masquerade palette by Juvia'S Place, and we're going to create a halo eye for this look. So it's going to be a very bold eye look. As you can see, I'm using that same technique. A little goes a long way, so starting a little on one side and then moving to the next side. For the center of the halo eye, I used this purple lavenderish color from a Morphe palette, and honestly this palette is so old I don't even know where I got it from, but I basically cut out the halo with the P. Louise eyeshadow base, and then I go in and set it with that eyeshadow from that palette. It's basically just a type of purple, a lavenderish color to complement the already bright magenta color that's on her eyes. Okay, so I had to come back and re-record this for you all because I forgot to mention something when I was doing her eyeshadow. I did a halo eye. You saw I put a transition color, and then I put the maroon color on the outside and on the inside, and then I put the lavender color in the center. After I put the lavender color in the center, before I applied the glue, if you watch closely, I did go back and apply some of that maroon color around that lavender color to make it blend even more. Okay, so do not just add these colors on and think it's 1, 2, 3, go. You need to blend. So you go back into the previous colors and add them back on top. And some may say I could have blended it even more. More than likely, the more you blend, the better it's going to look. So take your time. Take your time. So for the glue, I put glitter glue on her lids using a small brush, and then I went in with this purple glitter. I use a brush that you use for like lip gloss because I've noticed that it's easier to apply to the lid without disturbing too much of the eyeshadow. Definitely a trick I would suggest for using for makeup. My goal is to get eyeshadow lid catcher so it can catch that glitter, but in this case I didn't have those, so I had to go back and wipe the glitter from underneath her eyelid, from underneath her eyes, and then I had to reapply primer, which you'll see later. Again, going in with that clear brush, clean brush, and brushing out those edges. I realized that the concealer I used to carve out her eyebrows was not the concealer that is her actual color, so I went back in and applied some of the foundation underneath her eyebrows just so she doesn't have this halo looking eyebrow that's like obviously not her skin color. I wanted to make sure it looked as seamless as possible, so I kind of took my time with this step. I didn't go in with another concealer. I just wanted something that looked like her overall face. I should have used this concealer to carve out her eyebrows, but you know, we had to make do. Amaka wanted a natural look on her face, but I struggle with natural looks, so to make sure that her contour was not as harsh, I did not use any cream products. I only used a bronzer to contour her. And I went around and set her whole entire face with the same setting powder. If I were to do anything differently, I would have set her face with a darker powder than what I set her under eye with, which is what I normally do, but for this look I didn't do that. It still came out beautiful. Definitely make sure you pat that setting spray in. I'm using a brush to pat it in, and then I will go in with this beautiful highlight. Oh my goodness, this highlight was so creamy. It's from Morphe. I definitely would recommend. I'm going back in with this brow wax just to set her eyebrows, and then we go for lashes. This was a little difficult because Amaka had curlier lashes and I did not have the best tweezers, but we made it work. And this is the finished look.
Ooh. Ooh. Thank you for letting me do your face, Miss Arlene T.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, you guys, make sure you follow her. I'm going to insert her Instagram on the screen. And yes.